I shouldn't smile. I'm still in mourning over Etika. But and every time I smile or laugh, uh, I then end up crying. I was telling somebody that yesterday, and they said, "Well, the emotion that is two sides of the same coin. You know, laughing and crying, because sometimes you can laugh so hard that you start tearing up and crying. I'm sure you've heard of that, right? Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama, 19-year-old conservative Texan woman gets backlash after tweeting she will cook and clean for her husband. A Hallsville, Texas woman who said she will always make sure her husband has a plate when he comes home from work got backlash. In the post, which she uploaded to her Twitter page, Brylea Langley contemplated on what kind of wife she thinks she will be when she eventually gets married. "Call me old-fashioned," reads the tweet. "I was raised to take care of my husband, make his plate every night, wash his work clothes for him, make sure he's up for work the next morning, always have a clean house for him to come home to, etc. And that's exactly wife I will be." I'm not. This is exactly what the tweet said. While some agreed with the college student's position, others slammed her comments for being, quote, old-fashioned. "It sounds like you were raised to be his mom," wrote one, while another penned, "So, do you get to pursue any hobbies or passions, or is your future full-time job being a mother to a full-grown adult man?" Despite the outrage, there were some who supported Bryley's position. Quote, "It is your choice to be the kind of wife and woman you want to be," posted one user, while another said, "Pretty sure at Brylea Langley is my soul twin." There you go. Now let me say this. I've mentioned it on my Shakaama page, and a lot of people have heard it. Let me say this. There are conservative women, and then there's the women that live on the East Coast and West Coast. And the conservative women are the women that you want to marry. They are the housewife. They are the homemaker. They are the partner that you want to actually marry. And we're going to get into that later on in this post. I'm going to give you my full analysis. Posted another, "I'm a feminist. I'm an independent woman. And to be honest, I have no need to be upset at a woman who does what she wants for her partner. If getting up early, cooking dinner, and wash his clothes makes you happy, that is awesome. It is one thing to be forced and one thing to do it because you want to, and that is an independent thought." Another added, "I thought feminism was about letting women have the power to choose. As far as I can tell, this lady isn't trying to push her agenda on anyone. It's just her own values affecting her own life." While a fourth commented, "This is the realist response. Everybody's situation is different." While another cryptically posted, "Been there, divorce that." And that was the end of all of the articles talking about. They all ended on "been there, divorce that." To leave you with a lasting impression of divorce, right? And to leave you with the lasting impression that they're implanting the seed in this young lady to divorce, huh? I want to peel back all the curtains and all the mechanisms of the enemy. You cannot have a society without families. Let me repeat that. You cannot have a society without, and I mean traditional families. Man, woman, children. Man, repeat. Woman, children. Repeat. Man, woman, children. Families coming together through children. And what I mean is the man from his family, the woman from her family, and both families are united in blood, by blood, family tree through the child. This is why the family tree looks like extended, child. You cannot have a society unless you have traditional marriage, traditional families. That's not controversial. That is historical fact. As soon as Rome started getting into female empowerment and female liberation, the Visigoths visited them and took them over. And do you know the quote-unquote barbarians who took over Rome? Do you know how their society worked? The men went out and did whatever they were going to do, and the wife stayed at home. They had traditional families. Rome did not. So at the end, Rome was a mess. We've already talked about the decline of the American Empire that is in full decline. When you see her, I want you to imagine all the women that insulted her. So the picture on the cover is of her. I want you to imagine all the women who were coming out, teeth bared, claws unleashed, right? Now, I'm going to give you my personal opinion about this whole thing. Now, the financial impact of today's society makes it so that a stay-at-home wife is not only virtually impossible, but somebody pointed out, it's impossible in anything above the size of a quote-unquote town. Not even town, a village. So we still actually have all of those designations. This is a hamlet. This is a village. You know, right? And hopefully you're not like what's the Vail, Colorado, where it's a hamlet, which is the smallest thing you can actually have. I think. Correct me in the comments. A hamlet, but all of the rich people come to Vail, Colorado, and so then all the prices in Vail, Colorado are raised because the amount of money that is tossed around. They don't care that coffee is $30 a cup. They don't care about that at all. What's the other one? The film festival places, same thing. It's a tiny, tiny place. It's obviously a getaway place. You go there to completely diffuse from all the city stuff, and then they go and watch movies, and movies, 50 movies over the course of a weekend or something like that, or a week or whatever. And the town itself has $20 hot dogs, you know. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a hamlet where you can still take a nickel and buy something at the store with the nickel. No taxes. The whole bill is a nickel to buy something. I don't care if it's candy. I still was in a place and the candy was a penny. The candy was a penny. So you didn't buy one candy. You bought a handfuls of candy. So I mean, they got exactly what they wanted, which was they got a few dollars out of you because they could ship in a pallet. What's a gargantuan size of stuff? A pallet of candy, right? So they got it, pennies on the dollar for a pallet of candy, so they could still afford to sell it for a penny per candy and still make a profit, right? So uh, so they pointed out, if you live in a hamlet in America and all the flyover country, the Midwest, if you live in a village, even the beginning of what is called a town, you're good to go. You can have a stay-at-home wife. And in today's society, you could work on the internet and make a killing, and you could have the most traditional life ever possible. I'm going to do a couple of these. I have a couple of stories about traditional families. So when I say you can't have a stay-at-home wife, I'm talking about in New York City, right? The most efficient marriage today means that the wife has to work in New York City. If the greed of today's woman is to be appeased, she has to work. She'll want a bigger house, a bigger pool, a bigger car, and when the first pangs of the biological clock starts ticking, she'll want a kid, and then she'll start all over again. She'll want a bigger kitchen, a bigger den, a children's wing of the house. Now, if she lives in a hamlet and you make $60,000 a year, and the houses cost for a three-bedroom $30,000, I know, close your mouth. There are places where a three-bedroom house, brand spanking new, still costs $30,000 in the United States. While a conservative woman is the ideal wife, having her stay at home is not ideal in 2019 in New York City, right? But then you run the risk of taking her career seriously over the fate of the entire family, children, and all. And she'll divorce you. It's the biggest single reason for divorce that I've concluded that a woman who has a career and takes that career even a little bit seriously will divorce you. Nothing about money, nothing about communication, nothing about infidelity. I have determined that it is a woman with a career who takes it at all seriously. I want to get a promotion. There you go. That's when the divorce papers start. That's it. Because then she has the knobs have turned on that she is an independent woman. I already wrote down it in the script, right? It is the first taste of responsibility they have, where men have nothing but responsibility all of their lives. Take care of your little sister, take care of your big sister, you're the man of the house now while I'm gone. This is what we tell our boys. Even an older sister will readily bow to a younger brother put in charge to go off and play with dolls while the baby is crying in the house. You're in charge, you deal with it, right? But when a woman gets a little money under her belt and connects it to work, she gets all independent minded. And this is my conclusion. That once she connects independence, money with money, first of all, right? Independence with money. It doesn't matter how much money. She could be making minimum wage. Independence with money, and then connects it with a job. She was like, well, my job is my marriage, and I can just do my job. And I don't need to be married anymore, right? So having a stay-at-home wife isn't ideal in New York City. But having a working wife is a double-edged sword. She has to truly love the family over herself. Now, let me make that clear. She has to love the family over herself for her to be a proper wife and a proper mom. For all of these people, all of these women who say, I'm an independent woman and I love my... No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because the preponderance of the evidence is clear. There is too many instances, too many millions of examples. As much as you want to say that you're different, as much as you want to say that you're the one, that you're an independent woman, but you still love your family, you're different. No, you're not different. You're still in the pool of humans. You're still in the pool of women. And when they form their lips to say that they are independent, very shortly thereafter, it leads to divorce and all of the headache. And I'm telling you, women, I'm telling you, you don't win in divorce. You don't. As much as you think that you win in divorce, you don't. And I'm talking financial. Let me tell you, even if you get alimony and child support, you don't win. What do the statistics say? What do the numbers tell me? The numbers tell me that in 5 years, even with alimony and child support, in 5 years, most divorced women are broke, and some of those broke ones are homeless. Why? The only thing I can really come up with is, how could somebody getting sources of money from their ex-husband to the tune of hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars a month can wind up homeless in 5 years? What has she been doing for 5 years? Well, she has been not taking care, obviously, of bills. She's not been taking care of her housing. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. There's no other logical conclusion that you could come to. And we're talking about even up to the point of women winning awards of $1 million within 5 years being broke. So what happens in a $1 million award? Well, that $1 million more than likely has a house attached to it. And once you divest yourself from a house as the man, she has to take on all the responsibility. I read a story, case in point, of the woman said, I want the house, I want the house. And he said, I will buy your half of the house. I'll buy you out. You get to keep the half. All money paid. It's free of charge because you didn't actually invest in the house at all. You paid no money into it. You have nothing to do with the house. I even heard a woman take a guy's house who had been in the family for generations, and the only reason that they moved into the house is the mother had passed away and left him the house. So they literally had nothing to pay on the house, right? House was paid for. She lost the house. Why? Because she has to. You all keep forgetting there's upkeep in the house. You have to keep a house. It's a depreciating commodity. So women end up in the poorhouse in 5 years of divorce. Across the board, almost, except for the nosebleed section of, billionaires and 100 millionaires, all the rest of them, the single-digit millionaires, all the way down, 5 years. Most, I think it's something astronomical, like 70% of women end up broke, and some of them homeless. So it is trying to wish divorce on somebody, and you all need to work on the marriage. You need to work on the marriage today, because you have no driving force. You got married because you're in love. I keep telling you, don't marry for love. That's not gonna. You need something that some actual reason that's clear and present and ongoing. We married because it brought the two families together who were feuding. And our marriage stopped the feud as soon as we had our son. So then both families then had to come to the christening or whatever of this child and come to peace. Have a peace talk at the christening of our child. And this is the reason. And lo and behold, we had 5 more children to solidify the peace between our families. That is a reason, right? That's a reason. It's an ongoing reason. And it doesn't matter if he left the toilet seat up and you don't put the toilet seat down yourself. You're right? And it'll surpass all of that stuff. A lot of that stuff is minor. But a lot of the stuff is you got married because you in love and you have a career. And now you like the idea of you do not have to ask your husband for money. You can go work and spend all the money that you want. I'm here to tell you that's what's going on in America. Even married women keep all of their money, pay none of the bills. I'm trying to give you a crash course, and I'm sure this is super long, of what is marriage today. The women work. They keep all of their money to themselves. They buy all their beauty products, all their clothes, shoes, handbags, what have you. And even still ask the husband for money, and he pays all of the bills. And then divorce him because she's independent, right? She doesn't love her family. And like I said, just... I'm different. I'm independent, but I love my family. No, you don't love your family. If you're independent, you don't love your family. Family comes first. Point blank. You want to get married, have children, family comes first. That's what the man does. You don't ask the man, right? You don't ask the man what he thinks. For the man, family comes first. Wife comes first. The care of the wife comes first. How does he does it? He goes to work. He pays all the bills. He puts food on the table. Or he gives her all the money and she goes shopping. Brylea Langley, my hat's off to you, little lady. Like I said, you live in Hallsville, Texas. So in Hallsville, Texas, I'm sure you being a stay-at-home wife is probably fantastic. And it seems like you are not a stranger to working hard. That I'm gathering from your tweet, just one tweet, and I'm sure you will probably have your pick of the litter of men coming to court you. Choose very wisely. I just personally wouldn't marry you, and I didn't mean to say that in any sort of evil way. I want a completely independent, feminine woman. Now, if I lived in Hallsville, Texas, she could probably be a stay-at-home wife. But anywhere else, she's going to work, or we're going to be super fantastically wealthy, and she better not divorce me. I don't do divorce. You might think that's a-okay with you and you're a modern woman. That's not okay with me. And don't say it's not my choice. Oh, it's my choice. If I ask you and you say you believe in divorce, dude, there's not even dating going on. Nothing. Thank y'all for watching. I have a merch store, so please buy the merch. I just put some cups on. They're super duper cheap. They have the logo on it. There are some fastic clothes, and I'm slowly putting more on there. I can have up to 30 items on there. I have like 10 or 11, something like that. I have the free Cosby shirt, free Cuba Gooding Jr. shirt. I have the MGTOW shirt, and I have all of the Shakaama branded clothing. All right, so please support me with the merch. I'll leave that link in the chat. Your keyword to say that you watched all the way to the end here is Texan. 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 Or conservative woman, whichever you want to put down. Thank you.